So what are some of the things that I can share that might help you to be able to actually win? And I think in order to answer that, we're going to have to look at the question of what is quality in and of itself. So let's start from the very beginning. And really, when most people talk about quality to me, and I have these conversations, oftentimes they're talking about it in terms of product quality or engineering team's quality. And I look at those both as very internal views of quality inside their company. And when you think about the narrative of quality, everyone has different definitions, but there's two things that everyone seems to agree on. The first one is that quality in and of itself is subjective. It's determined by whoever is using the product at that exact time. And then secondly, it is relative. And that's that it changes over time. I don't know how many people on this call remember those good old-fashioned days of dial-up when you had to, firstly, I don't understand how this technology was so loud. It was the loudest thing ever to turn on. But when you turned it on, you would click on a page. You would leave the computer. Imagine this. You would go and start boiling a cup of tea. You would brew the tea, pour the tea, come back to your computer, and you would hope that page had loaded. That's how slow things were for us all back in the day. But now, can you imagine that happening? Like if a page doesn't load in like 1 second, we are screaming at our machines thinking, what the hell's going on? And for the Windows people in the room, who remembers the Microsoft blue screen of death? The number of times that blue screen of death came in my life, I swear I could have whacked through my screen in frustration, because that was before everything was saved. And you know, you did your homework and then it didn't save and you couldn't really tell that excuse to your teacher. So those are the issues that we had back in the past. But nowadays, if an app keeps on failing, we're not going to keep on using it. We'll just switch to a different, competitor's application. And so our experience of quality is relative and it changes. And my favorite definition comes from Michael Bolton, and it's an adaptation that says, quality is valued to some person at some time who matters. And I really like this because it has such a focus on the person who matters, which in most of our cases is our customer. And so when I think about people who have a great focus on customer, this guy comes into my mind. It is good old, Jeff Bezos, who sadly has just resigned from Amazon. But while he was at Amazon, he was super customer focused. And in his letters to shareholders back in 2018, he had said to them that customers are always divinely discontent, which basically means whatever they have now, they're not going to be happy in the future. And there is always this opportunity for growth. And I think that's quite a great thing for us as people who are building companies and we're testing in those spaces, because there's always going to be a gap, always going to be something that doesn't feel right relative to where the customer is right now. But if you just take that view of quality, that customers are always divinely discontent and having that customer focus, that's actually an external view of quality, because you're looking at things outside of your business, because you're coming from more of that customer's viewpoint. And sometimes when I talk to people about this, it can't fully be understood until I say that history is repeating itself. And to understand that, we're going to have to go back in time. And we're going to go back to World War II. So back in World War II, in the UK, they were making bombs in the factories, but they had a little bit of a problem. The problem that they had was that bombs were going off during the manufacturing process. Now, it does not take a genius to know that is a terrible thing to be happening if you own a bomb factory, because basically there's lives and there's a cascading issue that happens with the bombs. So the UK decided that they were going to create an inspection program for that whole manufacturing process. And a lot of this is the roots of what is now known as ISO, and ISO ends up being a set of rules that kind of companies have to go through, and there's loads of different types of certification they can go through to prove that they are more secure in the way that they work. But the other thing that happened during wartime was that at the end of it, Japan had a bit of a problem. Their economy had been flawed. And they had to work out how were they going to rebuild their economy. And they decided to focus on manufacturing. And as many of us now know, the Japanese became super famous for how great they were at doing that manufacturing, particularly in cars. And when we look at it, they use principles like lean manufacturing, which was continually getting the product through that factory. Or they looked at principles like Kaizen, which was continuous improvement. And when you think about these, it's very much looking at how do I take the flow of work through the production line of my factory, and what is the quality of my product is the core focus. And those 2 points are an internal view of quality. And it wasn't until this man came on the scene that things began to change. Now, not many people know who this guy is. This guy is a gentleman called Joseph Juran, and they don't know who he is, but a lot of people know who this guy is, which is Steve Jobs. Now, Joseph Juran was Steve's mentor. And one of the reasons that Steve became so fanatical about the quality of their product and having a great quality product for their customer was because Juran had educated him around this. And a lot of these principles that he said to him, he was like, don't just look at the lean principles. We have to make sure that we're taking the quality in it and its perspective to the customer into play as we're building out these products, as we're manufacturing stuff. And that, as we can see, is an external view of quality. Now, how do we develop software today? If we look at the principles of how we develop software, it's around things like agile development, lean principles, DevOps. All of these principles have come from manufacturing. And really, the way that we develop software was a lift and play of taking the lessons of how we developed hardware and putting it into play. And so instead of looking at the flow of work through a production line, we now look at the flow of work through a development pipeline, and we look at the quality of the product. But as we move forward, we have to start having more of this internal view of quality, right? And so the internal view of quality comes back to quality is valued to some person at some time who matters. And once you have that view of quality that is, again, looking at the customer, just as what had happened in the manufacturing era, history plays itself out where this external view that's customer focused becomes important. And we're beginning to see this with a lot of the customers that we speak with and a lot of the big companies that we speak with, that they're beginning to say, I need to focus on the customer in all of my engineering and all of my quality efforts. And this means that there's now this external view of quality. And so many of you are listening today saying, Ronald, you told me you were going to help us win this competition. Why are you nattering on about this internal view of customers versus the external view of customers and focusing on what's going on in quality? Now, the reason is because this is one of the most foundational ways of being better in terms of our ability to test our products, is to have an external and a more customer view of quality. And so how might you apply this in the work that you do on a day-to-day? So firstly, I want you to think about personas. And usually when inside our companies, and for this particular app that we're going to be working on today, there's different types of users who use that application. And usually there are 2 ways to look at this. The first way to look at the personas is from the product and marketing perspective. And these are big generalizations about the type of person that might use it. And so as you're sitting there thinking about the persons or the type of personas that might use it, think about their day. Think about what environments might they be in or what might be happening around them as they're trying to use this product. And the more that you think about that flow of their journey, the more ideas that start to come to your head. Oftentimes when I'm telling people about this idea of thinking about the journey of a persona, I talk about my own journey from my house and to work. And if you look at it, I wake up in the morning and my phone is usually on silent mode because I don't want to be disturbed. And then it comes on and I'm on my home Wi-Fi. I then leave my house and I go on to 4G or 5G. So that connectivity shift now means the application might work differently for me. I then get on the tube where I have no signal. And sometimes I might want to use an application, but there's no signal, and the way that data works and the type of errors that get thrown up start to change and adjust. And then I come to the office and I'm on like more of an enterprise Wi-Fi system. And just that thinking about what my day looks like, there's lots of different shifts and changes that might give you inspiration for what might you think about trialing as you're looking at how you might break or adjust the app that you're looking at. So that's more of the persona of the person. What is the lifestyle of the person like that might potentially use this app? The second way is looking at it from more of this engineering and quality team perspective. And obviously this is one of my favorites. And this is saying that every single customer expects that application to work exactly for them, no matter what the device they're on or what operating system they're on or what country they're in. And as you think about that, that then helps you play with, and when you're testing things, you might go, okay, I'm an absolute Chrome fanatic, but there are people in the world who use Safari, who use Opera, who use Firefox. Why don't I try testing on some of those environments? Because different situations might occur. And that helps you just think more broadly than the environment that you're in, because the persona of your customers expect it to work for them, no matter what device or location. And so really the core message there is think like your customer. The more that you can think like your customer, the more likely you are to find some really great issues that will help you win this competition. And in your day-to-day roles will help you better find things that are going to be more external focused and more customer focused when you are doing your testing. So that was that first idea, how to become a better tester. And it's really having that customer focus. The second idea is how do you position yourself to be promoted faster? Now, obviously, this isn't related to this competition, but I thought to myself, what does everybody want to do in life? We all want to grow in our positions in some way, and you wouldn't be inside this community if you didn't want to grow in your own personal profession. So we're going to talk about how can you get promoted faster? And really, it comes down to this beautiful word of influence. Oftentimes when I talk to people about influence or about being able to persuade people in and around their company, they say to me, they're like, Ron, I'm not really like a salesperson. That's kind of what the salespeople do. That's not really my thing. And there's this guy called Daniel Pink, and he said, in your day, 40% of your day and your life is spent selling to people, whether you even like it or not. And some of you may go, really? That's not true. And now just have a think. If you have a child in your life, a spouse in your life, you will know that you have to persuade them, or even parents, you have to persuade these people of everything at some point in your day. And so becoming better at this ability to influence the people around us isn't just a work skill, it's a life skill, because it allows us to help other people understand why our ideas are brilliant. And so there's a few quick ways that I want you to look at this as we go. The first is, think about how you can build empathy with people around you. The more that you can understand about that other person and have them understand more about your world, the better you will be at keeping people aligned and having a better perspective. There is a story where a manager decided that he saw two of his teams weren't working very well together. So he'd just finished watching this film called Freaky Friday, where the mother and daughter morph and switch places. So he decided to get the two heads of department to switch places with each other. And what he found is that at first they were like, that's a crazy idea. But then being in the other person's shoes made them truly appreciate so much about how that other person worked. And he said for the rest of the company's existence, those two departments were the closest bonded because they appreciated each other's work. And so as you think about that in your own roles, how can you build empathy and understanding with other departments or other people in other departments? How can you show them a bit more about your world so they can understand where you're coming from when it comes to quality? And then know and understand the motivations and fears of the people that you actually want to influence. Because oftentimes when we tell people stuff, we want to tell them stuff because we're super interested in it. But the truth is, we need to understand what they care about, and we need to talk about our example in their world in the way that they care. And then another thing that you might do is you might look to cultivate champions inside your company. And the more champions that you can cultivate internally, in terms of just speaking with other people in other departments, helping them understand why what you're doing is important, is really key. And so I understand that for some people, this is a completely new area and they don't spend too much time thinking about it. So I want to give you these 4 books to think about. You know, The Psychology of the Influence of Persuasion is one of the foundational books on persuading, and it looks at how can you use different things in and around your life to make people understand why the work that you are doing or the issue that you want fixed is so important. The second is to sell as human. For all those that feel completely uncomfortable with this idea of selling, like, that's what those people do. I don't do that, or I don't feel comfortable. You know, just pick up a book like this, just to understand we all naturally sell in just the way that we communicate. Even just our excitement can help sell something to somebody. And then my favorite is this. I just love the title of this book. I actually don't think it's a great book inside, but whoever tells the best story wins. How many of us have been in meetings where the person you're listening to someone talk and you're thinking this person's chatting absolute crap, right? But everyone else is agreeing. They're like, great idea. And really, all it comes down to is the fact that that person has told a better story. So think about how we package information back. Instead of just going to our developers and saying, hey, this is broke, you should fix it. You know, how do we package that in a nicer story that's most likely to get the fix? And so think about different ways of persuading. And so I want to tell you this one trick that I got told about telling stories that has been really insightful for me. And someone said to me that when you tell someone something that you're interested in or excited about, you tell it to them from the perspective of the ending. So you basically go, I think this thing is really cool and you should really like it as well. But that person has no context and they just don't really care enough. And you're like, why don't they care? And it's because they don't understand why they should care. So another way to tell stories, whether it's about the issues we find or the changes we want to make inside a company, is to think about this thing called an Epiphany Bridge. And the Epiphany Bridge basically says that there was a point in time where you yourself didn't care or didn't understand why something was important. So instead of starting by saying, this thing is really important, tell someone, you know what? There was a point in time where I didn't even get it. And then take them on the journey of how you got to better understand why it was important. Take them on your own epiphany. And just that process of taking them on the journey actually means they start to process it and they get closer to understanding why it's important. So think about Epiphany Bridge stories in how you communicate things internally, and that will help you as you move forward. Now, I know we don't have a lot of time here, but Jonathan did say I could go a little bit over time to share this quick story with you of how I have used Epiphany Bridges when communicating, and a lot of other people have. So I just want to share this with you real quick. And it's really on this question of, can you automate everything? There is not a person in this room that has not posed or been asked this question by some manager that said, why do I even need a manual person here? Because I could just automate everything. Now, this is the story that you tell them, right? And this was a story that was told to me by a good friend of mine called Dan Ashby, who used to be the head of testing at eBay. And I remember I was actually flying to go to an event called a Testathon, which is very similar to this Bug Bash. And I was boarding the plane at Heathrow, and I just read this article by Dan Ashby called Testing in DevOps. And I texted a friend of mine called Vernon and said, hey, do you know who this guy Dan Ashby is? And he said, yeah, I'm actually talking in front of him right now. And I was like, what? I said, do you mind making an intro to this guy? Because I'm fascinated with the way that he looks at stuff. And he made the intro, and a week later, I was on the phone with Dan, and he loved drawing things. So he started drawing things onto a virtual whiteboard for me. And I'm going to share the model. So I was trying to understand, can you automate everything? And he said, Ronald, let me just show you this. When we're doing testing, we're effectively trying to uncover information in some way. Or we're trying to understand what's going on around us. And there are different ways of getting that information. Now, one way that we can do it is we can investigate stuff. And this is when we are looking to uncover pieces of information that we don't really know what's going on. So we have to kind of look and see, is there a problem here? Is there a problem there, etc. And when we investigate stuff, it gives us new sets of information. And with that information, it gives us new ideas of how we might investigate and test. And so this ability to investigate is a key component of how we work. Another way that we might actually look at testing is we might be verifying what's actually going on. And when we're verifying the information that we already have, which might be like, I'm trying to work out how do we log in, that has certain expectations. So we can say you should be able to log in if you put in the correct username and password. Now, this usually gives us pass-fail sort of information when we do it, and it provides more information for how we can work. But really, the only things that you can automate are things that you are verifying. You can't automate things that you are trying to investigate. And so that was like my first aha, like, you know what? That makes complete sense. Now I get what can and can't be automated. So he posed a second question to me, and he said, the real question you should be asking is, should you even automate the things that you could automate? And so he then kept on going in this diagram, and he said, let's look at this whole idea of verifying. There are two things that you can, there's two ways to verify. One way is you can verify using a human, and another way is you can verify using a machine, which is the automation tools that we will look at. And you have to make a decision over which one makes the most sense for you at that particular point in time. And IBM did this study where they actually looked at how do you know whether you should automate something or not? And it really came down to three things. It came down to the length of time it's going to take to run that automation. If it is going to work and be able to be used again and again and again, then it's super useful to automate it. If the application is changing so much that the automation will continually break, you might want to look at doing that testing in a different way. How easy is it to actually drive that automation? For all those that do automation, you understand it's not always as easy to actually automate the thing you want to automate. That gives us perspective of should we be using a human or a machine? And then lastly, what is the comparative total cost? Sometimes our companies may only look at the cost of a person's salary. They might not look at the fact that you also have to maintain this thing that you've built like any other piece of software. And that has its own costs associated to it. But by trying to take a sense of these three components, you get an idea of whether the answer is should you automate or not. But really, for those that have been in the game long enough, you really understand that it's whether you should actually be doing both, so it doesn't matter. But the thing is, this whole story that I just told you was my own epiphany as to whether I can automate and whether I should automate. So now, whenever people have this conversation with me, I don't just tell them my views that they should do both. I tell them the epiphany story that I just showed you as to why that conclusion comes to that point. And by the time I take them through my epiphany, they're actually more on my side for what I wanted to talk about than having a big debate for no reason. And so this idea of us looking at how we influence and communicate inside our company is super important, because the foundation of everything is that the people who get promoted in companies that I have seen are not the people who one day hope that they will do something that makes them look like a leader. It's the people who are already doing that right now. Like if you had the choice to choose between two people, are you going to choose the person who has shown no signs of leading, or the person who has been doing it and influencing and knows everyone and is always trying to make change happen? It's kind of a no-brainer which one you think you're going to choose. And so that's why you should always be thinking about right now, whether you're a leader or not, how can you start to look at creating more influence inside your role? And so I want to give you some quick takeaways from the talk. The first one is be customer-centric in your view of quality. And particularly today, as you're looking to win some prizes, think about the customer. The second is make sure you're growing your level of influence in your day-to-day when you go back into the office tomorrow. Because our ability to influence isn't just about work. If we learn these skills, it will help us in all parts of life. And then lastly, make sure you're telling Epiphany Bridge stories, because the more Epiphany Bridge stories you tell, the easier it will be for people to understand that change. And so if I was going to leave you with a thought before I left, it would just be this, that everybody on this call is tomorrow's leader of quality. You are the same people who will be promoted into roles of management, into executive teams, etc. And the fact that you have such a care for quality in and of itself is actually reassuring that the products that we will have in the future will be way better. But if you are going to think about how do you move up in that progression of your own career as fast as possible, it really is deciding today that you're going to start developing, practicing, and dealing with these attributes of leadership today instead of waiting for a day tomorrow. And so I appreciate the time to be able to talk to everyone today. I wish everyone the best of luck with the bug bash that we have today. For those that are interested in some of the stuff that we've talked about, it is in this book, Leading Quality, and I think we have a few prizes that might include this later on today. And if anyone ever wanted to ping me I can talk for a long time about this subject, and I love it. So if you want to message me at any point, whether you want to say, Ronald, I completely disagree with everything you've just said, or you want to go, I love that, I'd appreciate hearing from you and your thoughts. And so with that, I'm going to hand over to the legend of Jonathan Wright to take us into however you want to like move us into the next part of today's event.
Into your applications. The other part of being a manual tester is, if you're just starting out, is knowing how to, I call it taking pictures of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not sure if you guys know, most of us know at this point the Loch Ness Monster was a elephant with its trunk sticking out. That's why nobody could get another picture of the darn thing. But what I do that is, if I see a defect and I try and take a picture of it, whatever I see it, because there's not a guaranteed shot that you're going to be able to reproduce that defect. And if you got a picture of it right away, then you can say, okay, yeah, I saw it, and you can show it to a developer. Trying to describe what you did and it's not doing it over again. Boy, that's gotten me so many times where it's like, I saw it and I just went through the same steps I think I did. But now it's not doing it anymore. Sometimes there's these hot fixes that the developers put in there, and they will just fix everything for you and then not tell you. And it's like, well, at least I had a screen capture. So screen captures are always really good for doing that. As Jonathan actually gave a little tip was, Jonathan, what was the name of that recorder? It was a steps recorder, which I've never heard of. What did you do to bring that up again?
PSR, so Papa Sierra Romeo. You just go into the command prompt, type PSR, and it's been there since 3.11, Windows 3.11, but it literally captures every screen. It shows you what you clicked on, what you selected, what you right clicked on. It documents it all, and it puts in a nice big zip at the end. So that's a great tool if you're doing exploratory. And as Paul kind of said, you see it once, but you can't catch it again. You got to catch them all. It's like Pokemon.
One of the tools I played around with is Cypress, and what they do is they actually record the entire screen as a movie as it goes along, which I think is great because there's cascading errors. You may have done something wrong at the first step, and then you only catch something going wrong at the bottom step, and then you've got a screen capture of that, but you don't know how it got there. That's having recordings like that is just really, really good. Trying to think of what else we can talk about. But like I said, exploratory testing is the best thing. I try and convince all my clients, my managers, I'm like, your manual testers are really important because there's a weakness and a strength in test automation versus manual testing. As I said, automation tools can't do exploratory testing. It can't kind of mess around going in there. And humans get bored doing the same thing over and over again. And you give them a couple hours or a couple of days and say, hey, just forget the requirements, just go and try and break it. Come up with some crazy way that you can throw some data into a field and see if you can get the application to break. That's more, people just like that as when you're doing testing, just to feel that, hey, I figured out something that the requirements people never figured out. Let's see. I tell you what, we did get started a little bit late, and Ronald was great, and he went a little bit long. I'm thinking, do we want to cut this a little bit short and maybe get everybody back to trying to find some defects?
I think that works.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay, so the question now is, can I get everyone back in the same rooms?
We did have some quick questions.
Go ahead.
Is this an individual or is this a team thing for when we're writing up the defects that we find?
This is a team thing. You're gonna get, each in the team gonna get the voucher, so it's a team thing. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we were trying to figure out how to write up the bugs and stuff if it was individual. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other quick questions? Looks like, yeah, we're getting them all put back into their rooms. So. All right.
Yeah, so everyone should have a pop-up or something inviting them back to the same room they were in. If you don't, please shout. I imagine a few people are just taking a very short break.
Yeah, I got invited back to room 3, which was the last one that I was in. So hopefully, but it's good to know for future if you're doing lean coffee or anything like that, that you can reallocate them back into the same team.
Yeah, guys, help me out with writing the bugs because
Yeah,
I
was about to say, they're coming in thick and fast. Paul, go. Paul's coming. Okay.
all run away.
Oh yeah, lots of them come in now. That's really good. Okay, I'll take one. Graveyard mask.
And it's just really interesting, you know, because you learn to really international relationships, but not about the semblance, you know. And you got weird like that. Yes, it's about children. I can say all kinds of phrases, and it's like that language that why do we have good languages? And I was like, I'm like, I may just be able to be at rank right now, but I will learn more. I'll be able to say more than if I'm right.
I found.
Is anyone else seeing a lot of movies that?
Yeah, that's not on the list. Like Fly and Vampire.
Yeah.
Had that in the list. I don't know where they are coming from. Yes, the question is to the whole, basically.
Swear at you anyways. Right. Yeah, she was like, oh, I know a Swedish place. Hedge. That's your story. You know, hate. Jesus. Gee. G. J. Hey. 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 But I was like, what? And I was like,
It's not loading an Internet Explorer.
It's okay. So I wrote it down as like
It's got Internet Explorer.
Just having
Which Internet Explorer?
Yeah, I think I've got an
Invalid
account.
browser.
Browser Stack. Have I still got an account with Browser Stack?
Sorry, Charmaine is trying to go back to room 7, or she's, no, she is in that. I just noticed in the chat.
I think it's an old comment.
Okay. My question is, how are we gonna decide the winner? Like, do we just take who gets the most?
I mean, I speak like, I realize this in German, I've retained a little
I think it's probably worth, before we get to that quarter to the hour number, to have kind of firmed up which ones we're going to do little subcategory book giveaways, and then potentially whatever format you want to do for the winners.
Okay. Hey, Paul,
I'm back. Yes.
can you check the movie reference that they have been entering? Because they're a bit different from our list.
One of them did ask about Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, and they're like, well, which movie? Like, there's a little clue in there that tells you specifically one of those 3 movies that they're in. Let's see. I'm going back over here. Oh, cool. The Fly. No points for The Fly. That wasn't in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Oh, I would love to give them points for that. Oh man, I used Vampire as a name. Oh my gosh. Monty Python Holy Grail. That works. It references, but the poster looks like the thing. So this is from 2 film references. Oh, you're right. I did use a thing reference there. I have to throw that in there. Escape Room. I don't know how they got that. Poltergeist. Alice in Wonderland. Zombie. All right. Well, you got mail. That's fine. Cool. Shawshank Redemption. That's good. Good. Big Monster. I've never heard of that, and I don't know about the Devil's Advocate. Oh man. So I tell you what. So I guess we'll do just whatever was on that list. The Fly doesn't count, and Plan 9 for my. I wish I would have thought that. Was it something specific, Ida, that you were looking at that you wanted to?
Yeah, I just was trying to understand like which ones you want to rate and which ones you don't. Like, can you add like 0 or 1 that you want or don't want to rate? Because I'm not sure.
So, movie points. Oh, okay. So if I remember correctly, we talked about which one was it? The Tom Hanks film was it? It was You've Got Mail, right? Because it's actually sitting on the mail area. So I'm going to just give him 1 point for You've Got Mail. You can see how it wasn't there. Halloween. I'll give it. Let's see. Do we have Halloween actually listed there? I mean, that's so obvious. I said it was a Halloween site. Unfortunately, there. Let's see. Oh wait. Yes, I bet you there is a Halloween reference. Into that, I was changing some of the addresses, but I bet the address of Halloween in Illinois is actually still in there. So I'll give them that. Alice in Wonderland, that's fine. Zombie. Well, it's a zombie. There's some zombie films. I think we have to be a little bit more specific about that. By the way, I never did find whoever's detective, whoever's what room that is.
Maybe it was one of the last ones that you didn't manage to get into.
I got 9, 8. Is Bugfinder's 8? We can deduce it because I hit every room, or I hope I hit every room. I'll deduce it. I'll figure it out. Wizard of Oz is fine. Vampire. Vampire was not one of the films on our list. I'm going to take that one out. The Fly was not one of the films on our list. But I like it. I wonder where they came up with the reference to The Fly. I'm going to have to ask Bug Finders that. Detective, no idea. Okay. Alice in Wonderland, that's fine. Poltergeist, fantastic reference. No, Escape Room, no, didn't have that. The Fly, Mighty Python, the Holy Grail, does get a point. We'll do that. Plan 9 from Outer Space, 0, and there's no movie listed here, so that's nothing there. Shawshank Redemption. Yes.
I finished this on time. There's just too many bugs.
That's trying to make sure that we didn't end up like, oh, there's only 4 bugs and you found them all. That is a good point. Shawshank Redemption, we give him a point for that. It's definitely on there. I'm surprised nobody got Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory yet. Devil's Advocate, no point. Bugbuster, no point. Very good. Batmobile from the vehicle list. Oh, I know where that came from. So the rule there, it's not Batmobile. The rule there is that they actually ended up over at my my website for my my YouTube channel, and they're watching some of my videos. The rules clearly state that whatever you find has to be within inside the Candy Mapper website domain. So if you ended up somewhere else, and I intentionally made them go other places, you don't get points for it. I see Adam kind of laugh. I see Jonathan. Everyone's giggling at that. Oh man. When the wolf bane blooms. No point. Zombies. No. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. They got it. Excellent. We got that. Oh, hang on. There's a bunch in there. Cool. That's 1. Monty Python. I'll give them for that. 2. Wizard of Oz. 3. Wonderland. 3 points on that one. Cool. What else we got going down here? Shawshank Redemption. 1. Sounds good. Gotcha. Cool. All right, this is working out a lot better than I thought. Detective. All right, let me see if I can do
Paul,
this.
is there a secret stash button somewhere?
There is a button called Netanyahu that actually should be named Secret Stash.
Yeah. Right. Where is that?
Oh, Secret Stash is on the front
I
page
can't
at
see
the
it.
very bottom. Scroll down on the main page to the very bottom. I think it's in the center of the screen. There's a quote from the Shawshank Redemption. If you come this far, maybe you'll come a little
Got it.
far.
Obviously, I'm not rating them high on bug description. I got it.
It's fine. Alice in Wonderland, Rabbit Hole. We'll give you that. Sure. I like that. I'm surprised that the hardest one was Doctor Who.
They found the reverse of the
What's that?
They found the reverse of the image. Remember, we talked about the
Someone got that.
Yeah.
The Candy Mapper logo is reversed, and also it's the wrong logo. It has
I
no.
made it bold so you can see who was it. I think the detective team is quite good.
If they can get some more movies, but yeah, let me go find the detective. I gotta find those guys. Let's see. All right, you guys are doing okay for the moment. You're all right. Cool. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can go find those guys because I did not talk.
Help us rating after because we have too many bugs.
How much time do we have left on this? Well, it's
about 45 minutes.
45.
I hope by the end they're not going to be able to find that many, and then we will catch up. But I don't.
Yeah.
All right.
Or they're going to find like Internet Explorer or something like that, and then they're going to start reporting lots of weird bugs.
All right, I'll handle the movie points. You guys can.
The image that's reverse, Geeter, is it the map?
What's that?
No, the image on the top on the pop-up. On the pop-up, when you first go to the image, there's a candy on one side. When you close it, the logo is on the other side.
Yeah. And you also only see that pop up probably only once.
I think Adam froze.
You're right. I thought he was thinking really hard for a moment there. All right, I'm gonna go find Detective. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay, sure. I think, Mike, you're gonna be coming post soon again.
Choose room 2. Detective may have been room 10. Talk to them. I'm gonna go jump to room 7.
Blimey, so many bugs.
We shall never finish this. Jonathan, are you not helping? No.
I've got paid work that I'm doing at the moment, which I've got production issues, which unfortunately there's only so much I can volunteer.
Okay.
Okay, so Adam is back. Yeah.
Bloody internet. Hey, the image that you said you were talking about, Gita, that's reversed, is that the map?
No, well, map is reversed as well, but in the front pop-up, there's a candy image, which is different than the actual logo when you close the candy pop-up.
Oh.
Ah, pardon me. Sorry.
And Adam, we need help. There's too many bugs.
Yeah, sure.
I should have written this.
Guys, I'm just thinking we also need to check for duplicates raised by the same team, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried. But at the end of the day, we're reporting like the best bugs, right? So we're gonna take the one which has the most score and say that's the one theme.
Just to make things a bit easier, I'm going to pick up all of the ones on sim capture screen. There's about 6 or 7 there, because it's probably faster to go through and do them all that way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You might want to do the same and filter by page.
Okay.
If I don't think it's a bug, do I give them points for the description?
I don't
No,
think
the description's wrong. If they're describing a bug and there's no bug, I
Yeah.
still it's bad. You know, lowest
0.
possible score.
Email address, no validation in the Internet Explorer. Oh my gosh. None of them have actually noticed that sometimes the links lead to the demo site, and like they have staging site, and like there's Candy Matter 2, Candy Matter 3, but I haven't seen any bugs that even mention that. Like some of the links leading to the staging site.
I have seen one, I think.
And then Paul, I think, quite hard to make sure that the staging site is different than the production site so that they can see what should be there where.
We're still not catching up with the bottom, are we? Using bugs at quite a
You
rate.
just came in. I think they're coming in batches, like 5 came at 10.
Yeah.
This is actually making my head hurt.
We need that neuro find duplicates functionality, right?
I'm just wondering, like, shouldn't I have created, like in the Excel, you can say, like, if this field is low, then the number here is 1. If this field is something, the number is there, and then we just enter the description and it calculates it, right? We should have done something like that, something easier.
Yeah, I've just found a duplicate bug, so I'm going to give it a naught. It's a fantastic find them, but they do the same bug twice. Oh, we're nearly caught up.
Don't say that.
Open the Internet Explorer browsing.
So I did a quick pivot table, and it looks like detective has the most points, followed by Bugs R Us, followed by Horizon.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually looks quite good.
I'm going to check for duplicates on detective.
Okay.
Ron just sent me a message saying when it comes to the virtual prize giving thing, you want me to send him a list of the winners for him to announce once we've got that full list on WhatsApp for him to read out, or should we just?
Adam, currently. Adam, are you there? Adam?
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. All we need to do is figure out the winners.
Yeah, that's the hard bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have run out of things that they want to test because now they're starting to report all the IE and whatever bugs.
Silly question, but for things that like the books, I guess when people submit, do they submit their name as well, so we can tell the best performed one, or are we going to have to just allocate the books to a team, or what are you thinking?
We allocate it to the team, but we know who is in the teams. Like Adam took a screenshot, and we have the attendees list. So I think, Adam, was there emails in the attendees list as well? I have to check.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't open it.
I'll have to check. Yes, really. No, Jeremy sent me. No, I don't have emails. So we will need somehow to get people's emails. I don't know.
We will.
Can you get emails from somewhere? Because the list that Kerry sent me, I don't have emails.
We can get them to send them as, they can send us a private message to me on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, I've checked the duplicates in the top 3 teams. Found a couple. zeroed
Yeah,
them.
not surprised. Because I keep seeing the same things all the time, like especially that character limit just keeps repeating all the time.
Yeah, I think we can congratulate them all on the total number of bugs raised by all the teams.
We can congratulate ourselves for trying to rate so many. 158.
Yeah, yeah, so far, and it finishes shortly, doesn't it?
Well, still 20 minutes.
Okay, all right, wow.
That is impressive, 150.
Yeah.
Just think if we're doing that for free, you could create our own crowd testing company and be like Ron and be making a fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Should try it. I attended one testathon where they were actually testing website that they just launched. So they just wanted to see lots of bugs. And they got people just to come and do that. I'm amazed, like somebody is very technical. They have entered something like GitHub something, and it fails with API error. And then there was another one who said like there's a course error or something. So quite amazed about that one. Yeah, if you see interesting bugs, just make maybe bold. Maybe we can discuss like during the things that people have found.
Just to clarify, Gita, is the winner the team with the most points, or is it the best bug?
Well, we wanted to do the best bug, but because you did this kind of thing, I'm now thinking like the best team as well. So yeah, we can do two, I guess. Can we?
I don't know.
I guess we can say that we rated by the best bugs, and we got to this team got so many points, and this team got that many points, and whatever.
Or should we just? None of these bugs are jumping out as me. It's amazing.
No.
Check some of the ones.
Good one on GitHub and API calls.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Check
sounds
out
more
the one
interesting.
I'm just marked in bold. That one's funny.
But the image being reversed, you know that one about the logo? That might be a candidate for best bug.
Yeah. Because you.
So maybe if we give first prize to the team with the most points and second prize to that team.
Mm-hmm.
And then best documented bug report. That's gonna be tough.
Like Hunt for the Bone Collector. Does anyone know that movie?
No.
I haven't heard of that one.
Mike, can you give me host again? I seem to have lost it again.
Oh, right.
Dropped out.
Okay. So if I go view participants.
We have another escape room. I don't know where the escape room comes from.
It's a good film, though.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it and I have no clue where.
Okay. So your host again, Adam.
Thank you.
Oh, someone, how can they get back into room 7? Charmaine Chan.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, all right.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah, I'm back from the great beyond. How's it going?
can you rate some movies again? We got more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll-
We have lots of bugs.
Yeah.
Did you find the detective?
Yeah, I did. That was room 6. When I asked them, they said, our team name is room 6. I'm like, okay. And then I verified them. Like, yeah, we're detective. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, that changes the numbers a bit.
Yeah, because we have
A
rooms
lot.
and detective.
Let's see what we got here.
I'm changing room 6 to detective now.
All right.
But they just reported bug with room 6 again.
Yes.
Who did? Wait a second.
Maybe don't change Adam. Let's wait for.
Yeah, I'll hold.
Yeah, leave. Maybe one person thinks it's room 6 and the other person thinks it's detective. I don't want to get messed up on that. Okay, let's see what else. What other movies have we got here? Oh, that's a lot of movies. Wow.
Yeah, I see 9 teams with points.
Okay. Sleepless in Seattle. I believe that is 0. That was not one of our ones. Angry Birds. No. Feet on the Beach is an episode of Bones. No, it doesn't work. Lake House. That is Kita's. That was her contribution. One of many, by the way. Hunt for the Bone Collector. No. Mail. Looks good. Escape Room. No, that wasn't one of them. Bugs. TV series. No. Vampire Zombie. Nope. Let's see what else we got.
There
Zombie.
should be escape room and vampires somewhere because it's like few of them mentioned that.
Yeah, but it wasn't on our list of intentionally making a reference in there, right?
Yeah, but it's weird. Like, where did they get it?
I gotta check that out. It was interesting talking to everybody about it. We've got one team that's complaining about the bug submittal site because it seems to only work with Gmail accounts. So they're like, can we submit the bugs on that? I'm like, no, only within the Candy Mapper domain. Like, well, you mean the problem domain? I'm like, oh, come on. My Python and Holy Grail, give you a point for that. Yep. You've got mail, point for that. Jurassic Park. No, I'm sorry. Wasn't one I intentionally put in there. Halloween. God. I gotta decide. Halloween. I mean, obviously the whole thing is a Halloween episode. Halloween thing. Sleepless in Seattle. Nope. My Python 1. I think I've gotten Allison. Yeah, I think you're at the top where everybody was already putting stuff in there. I'll add these in here. The Batmobile came from one of the first pages I created. I don't know if you guys know this. The website's actually 5 years old, and I was playing around with some stuff. And some of those pages I haven't looked at in 4 years, and I forgot I put the Batmobile in there. I'm still not giving points on because it wasn't anything that me and Gita discussed. Buster, no. Devil's Advocate, no. Shawshank Redemption, yes.
$173 now. Wow.
Vampire, no. Fly, no. I want to know where the fly came from. No idea for the detective. There we go. Sleepless in Seattle. Yeah, this all stuff was scored. All right, let me jump down to the bottom. See what else we got. Anything?
Can you somehow count which room has the most references to the movies?
We should be able to sort. I'm hesitant to touch anything.
No, please don't sort. Maybe select, create in separate screen or something.
Copy it off into another page. Yeah, we can do that. No, it's not a problem. Yeah, someone's already created a pivot table. Nice.
Yeah, Adam did.
Bugs are, yeah, that's me. Bugs Are Us have just overtaken Detective.
Is it worth sharing that on the chat? Would it create some interest? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or some kind of update, you know?
I'll just say there are two
Into the home
teams
straight.
very close. Oh, we've got 10 minutes to go, right?
Yeah. Home straight. Who's, you know? Someone's up behind Lewis Hamilton and they're about to overtake, and there we are.
The only issue, we originally wanted 4 people per team. Now we have 5 people. If we have to give them vouchers, how are we going to do that? Are we going to give each one 20 pounds or I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, it's
That's
the 100 pounds was going to be
That's
divided
what-
up 25 each.
Yeah, you can decide by 25 each if you have 5 people. So then it's 20.
Cool. Then I'm only out 100 pounds then. Okay. I thought it was 100 pounds per person. I was like, wow.
That would be good.
That would be good.
I wouldn't be judging for that. I'd be testing.
All right. The other one's coming up here. So will you ever do this again? We're just going to name the teams after those rooms.
I think we need to decide on the team names beforehand. We need to create spreadsheet where it's very easy to just enter like the description rating and not think about other things. And yeah, make ourselves easier.
At least you remember this for next time, Geeta.
Are we gonna do next time?
I was getting a lot of compliments on the laughs that people were getting off the website. So that made me feel good. You guys are doing all right on the. Ooh. I see you guys are.
Adam, can you look at the duplicates again by any chance?
Yeah.
Well, there's lots coming in still, isn't there?
Infobox covers logo.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to zero one of your bugs about copyright. Copyright 2019 is absolutely fine.
Is it? Okay.
It just copyrights it as of 2019, right?
Yeah, any work you've done in the last 2 years isn't covered by the copyright. So it's a question for the company if you've done anything in the last
good
2
point.
years. Yeah. That's right. I've marked it very low.
All right, I'll leave it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep, low, and it's an intentional defect, by the way. And there's another website that actually has all this stuff fixed. So what am I looking for? Help pop up. Now click help on the right side. Full box is covering the logo. We have a screen capture?
I've got one I didn't understand, so I've just scored it very low.
There's a Saida in the waiting room. We haven't had a Saida, S-Y-E-D-A, in, have we? Anyone remembers?
I don't remember
Seeing
the
anything
name.
on the screenshots?
I haven't seen.
No.
I'm going to go for 0 on that. That wasn't anything intentionally we did. Candy map remain header and footer. Select a county. List is totally wrong.
How do I get to the slide challenge?
Where did I? How did she do this? Oh, because it's listed here. Got it. Yorkshire, East Yorkshire listed twice. My gosh. My buddy in London missed that. Bristol's a city. We'll give it. That's good. City of London is not alphabetical. Too many shires, I think. Oh, that's not fair. There's plenty. The shires were all legit. Northern Ireland.
You start thinking on what you're gonna talk about. Like I marked bold few tickets which are interesting. But if you can see any others, because we're gonna need time to basically finish this up. So you will need to talk a little bit. In 4 minutes.
4 minutes. How long do I need to talk? 15? Is that what we're saying?
You need to talk till we finish up the rating. At the moment, we are like 5 tickets behind.
Okay, where are we doing the rating? Because we can't talk here. We're going to talk on the WhatsApp channel, guys.
Yeah, if you do that, and I'll just copy and paste the list over to Ronald as soon as he joins. So he'll be able to read it out.
Let's just decide on the winners. So the first prize is for the one who gets the most points. The team that gets the most points get the £100 voucher split between them. Then we get the best bug, which we decided is that can be turned around, which all you know. And that's the second one. And then we're gonna do runner-up, which we wanted runner-up. Or best documented bug. I still haven't decided which one is that one. And Paul has to decide which one has the most movies as well.
Okay, I will do that. So I'm doing best bug in most movies. Am I correct? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Best documented bug.
How's Paul going to do that while he's talking?
No.
I'm doing it right now. It's going to be somewhere in the first 184 defects. That's what it's going to be. Let's see. City of London. Low impact.
here's what I'm going to do. When I bring everyone in, I'm going to clarify which room is which team. And that'll take a couple of minutes and give you an extra couple of minutes to look through movies and bugs, Paul.
Yeah, and clarify that they can't post any more bugs because we're not going to count those.
Yes, we can't catch up with them.
Yeah, I'm closing all rooms in 20 seconds.
Okay, that's good. Then that stops from submitting bugs.
And I can turn off the submission.
Yeah.
There's a switch on that.
Okay, I'm going to need to relax and have a beer after this, I think.
Yeah,
It's quite intense. It's fun.
59 seconds.
I need a new alternator. That's what the AA guys just told me. So
All
it's
right.
off to the garage, been
Oh,
towed
dear.
on the back of a van.
Oh dear.
Sorry, I wasn't much use today. That and work popping up at the last minute. All of this. I just pasted a link to the video, which was what Ron did at the start. It's not the full thing, but it's a little bit. Obviously, we'll be recording the final bit as well, so we can always upload that to the proper BCS channel. But
Okay, room 2's, there's a room number 2 and a room 2. So we could probably combine those two. They're probably they're the same team.
Okay, attendees are returning now.
Oh,
196 bugs. Wow.
Oh,
197.
can you stop the submission so nobody can submit anymore?
Yeah, turned off.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Stressed out judge team here has been going through 196 bugs at quite a rapid speed. So first of all, while we're going to take a few minutes and just finalize our ratings and aggregate things, but first of all, I just need to confirm who is which team. So would somebody from room 2 be able to confirm your team number? Is it room 2? It's room 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I could have figured that one out. How about room 3? So that's Dave, Joe, Mangal, Neha, and Ramesh.
Sorry, room 3, member here.
What's the team name you have?
Did you have a team name?
Yes, we did. Horizon.
Great. Okay. And room 4, that's Gary, Louise, and Regina.
We are Bugs Are Us.
Bugs Are Us. Like it. How about room 5? That's Julia, Marika, Prashant, and Sugi.
That's us. We are the Fantastic Five.
What's your team name?
Fantastic Five.
Of course you are, the Fantastic Five.
Of course.
Cool, cool, cool. Room 6 is the appropriately named room 6, I guess. Room 7, I've got Kar, Shemaine, Suresh, and Zara. What's your team name?
Boom Sakarara. Boom Shakalaka.
Boom Shakalaka. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, and room 8, that's Anise, Emeka, Jagan, and Olivia.
Bug Finders 8.
Bug Finders 8, thought so. And room 9, Agnes, Dami, Erin, and Ramona.
And we are the Bug Candy.
The Bug Candy, cool. Okay, great. So, yeah, thanks for all the bugs. We've been going through them. We've been discussing them. Interesting that some of you are still using Internet Explorer. Some great bug reports there, and it will take us a few minutes to go through them. Paul, are you able to talk to the teams for a little while before we announce the winners?
Sure, I can talk to you guys. Well, I'll give you a little time here. So first of all, I want to thank everybody who joined in on the Bug Bash 2021. I got a lot of really great positive feedback just jumping into the rooms. Some good advice if I want to go do it again. And boy, people have to call me right in the middle of this, don't they? Of course, timing is terrible. So let's see. I'm looking through some of the defects and seeing if I can find some of the more interesting items that were there. In fact, looking at the movies, I had to ask on a couple of these. One of the most obvious, let's see, what was one of the ones we had over here? Halloween was really good. That was pretty obvious on that. For that. Bug Finders 8. You guys said you saw The Fly referenced somewhere out there. Can you guys one of you guys come off the mute and tell me, where did you see The Fly? What was the reference on that?
It wasn't, I thought we could come up with any movie anywhere, not on your thing.
Ah.
Oh, I thought you were just, if anyone could come up with any movie at all. I thought you were searching. Oh, I see. You wanted it on the page itself.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought it meant anything, like you were gathering for reference for the context of the whole exercise, all the movies in the world that talk about bugs and okay. We thought NCI, American television programs about forensics and bugs and finding stuff and sorry, we missed our instructions. Sorry.
Now this is a really good point, because as me and Gita were discussing this, we were deciding whether we wanted to have some requirements that were really specific about what was going on. But then we also said, in the real world, sometimes the requirements that you have in testing are pretty vague. And we went, let's go with that. So nope, nothing against you. You actually did a really good job on that, because we intentionally made the requirements vague just to make it kind of close to a real life testing. As
it's true. User story all the way off.
Let me take a look at someone else mentioned.
Hey, while you're doing that, can I just jump in with a question? Which team is detective?
Team 6.
Team 6.
Is that my
Team
mic?
6?
Yes, Team 6.
Team 6 was raising. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What were some of the other ones we had here? I know Batman was mentioned, and I gotta give you props. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find Batman in there. It was Bugs R Us, and they actually found Batman listed in a drop-down list in one of the oldest portions of this website. I didn't make it up in 6 weeks. It's actually been around for five years. Good job for finding that guy buried in there. The downside is it wasn't on our official list for Batman, so there's no points on that one there. Let me see. There was another one that came up here. I've never heard of Bug Buster. It wasn't on our list, but good job. All right. So again, Bugs R Us. Boy, you guys thought of a lot of great movies. Plan 9 from Outer Space, or Ed Wood. That is fantastic. Not on the list, but I give you props for going out there.
I'm so sad that's not on the list. I thought I found something really cool. Oh, I'm sad now.
I really wish that those two were on the intentional list, but they weren't over there. However, you did find Monty Python's Holy Grail. So, and I think that one's pretty obvious out there. That was good. Did anybody find the defect that was hidden inside of the actual HTML DOM code?
Never got around to getting to the DOM.
Okay.
You had too many on just the home page.
You notice that I actually have a graph here that shows how many defects everybody found. The homepage was way up there. It was good. Let's see. Room 2, you guys did great. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you caught that reference down there. You get nothing. You lose, sir. Very good. Monty Python, we gave you that for that as well. And Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland. Good job. And 1, 2, 3. Actually, that's 4. Yeah, you got 4 there. That's good. So good job on room 2, which I think is, yeah, room 2 is room 2. Did anyone actually feel that this was kind of close to what you do during the day when you're getting requirements, and it's kind of not quite what the descriptions aren't quite as robust as you would expect them to be?
At least you guys gave us some. It's all like, I've just been sitting here grooming tickets, and it's like, there's no AC. Hello, can somebody like, I've just been with the PO all week trying to get an AC.
Trying to get an AC, getting air conditioning we're talking about, right? All right, did I mishear that?
Oh, acceptance criteria. It's all like,
Oh, I thought AC was
just
air conditioning as well.
I thought it was just,
I live in Michigan. I do not need AC right now. We've had snow for the last 3 days.
I'm in Illinois. I'm not too far away from you out there. But Michigan, I've been there. It's wonderful, wonderful state.
How much snow did you get?
We had 30 seconds of it this morning. That was it. Nothing else going on there. Let me see what other defects we had here. Poltergeist, fantastic reference. Bugs R Us. Well, you guys.
Sorry, I'm a massive movie nerd. I love the Poltergeist one. That was possibly my favorite, other than the Holy Grail.
Now, here's the thing. Let's see. You said you found it on the Graveyard Links Golfing website over there. Am I correct on that? It was Graveyard.
Well, Graveyard Golfing is the reference.
This is great. So it says steps to reproduce. Go to candymapper2.com. One of the rules we had very at the beginning, it says the defects, the ones that count, are the ones that are inside of the Candy Mapper domain. If you happen to venture it out to some other domain like Candy Mapper R2, which I did intentionally put you in there and logged you, kind of got it over there, it didn't count. Actual
That's
results.
where you get to when you do your search box.
Yeah, that goes to the search box. Yeah, I had loads of tabs open, so I probably just copy and pasted the wrong URL.
No, I think you actually had the right one, because I'm looking at the description, an automated sandbox, but it's on R2. So there are a lot of links that were misdirected into different places.
Yeah.
The one I think everybody kind of missed, and I think I made it just too obscure, was, did anyone list Doctor Who?
No.
Nobody.
Where was that?
So it was really, really strange. So you did, I know somebody mentioned that there was a quote that was either missing on one of the pages. It says, okay, kids, here's where it gets complicated. However, okay, kids is on one page, and then here's where it gets complicated, it appears on the other. That is a quote from a Doctor Who special episode, I think, for the Red Nose Day. And it's basically the TARDIS ends up inside the TARDIS. If you happen to be on that site, it was asking you to go and click on the sign. And if you clicked on the sign, it opened up Candy Mapper again inside of a smaller window.
Yeah.
It told you to go click on the sign, which opened up Candy Mapper in another window. And I was hoping it would go all the way, like, infinitely down. It did not. At some point, GoDaddy said, okay, no, you're not opening up any more windows over here.
I thought that was an Inception reference, because obviously a site within a site within a site.
Boy, that would have been great. I was asking a lot of my friends on what should I put on there to try and kind of give a clue. And most of my friends, one of my friends is a Doctor Who fan. He says, that's great. I would have never gotten it. But I'm glad you guys went after that. Let's see, what else did we have? You always all got the Monty Python reference. I love that.
Sleepless in Seattle.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle came in as a email that it was on the email that said you might get an email back from Meg Ryan and Tom.
Oh, that should be You've Got Mail. That's the one I didn't put down.
You've Got Mail. You only got points for You Got Mail. We had to decide on that one. Sleepless in Seattle.
And it still should be Sleepless in Seattle also.
Well, you did give, I think you gave a good argument, but there was only one movie that we're looking for, and we tried to nail it down. You've got Mailhead was in the term in the name of the title, and mail was also on that pop-up. That, by the way, did anybody get any mail back? Did anyone actually use an email and try and send mail out and send it back? Get it back?
Yeah.
You tried it? Did you get mail?
I got an email, yeah.
You did? Okay, cool. That I'm glad that's working. I thought I broke it, but I guess it is working. So yeah, good job on GoDaddy there.
So
how's our
yeah. So our great judges have come to some countdown, and I know it's getting to the end of the month, end of the hour. So I wanted to make sure we're kind of in there. And Paul's "You Got Mail" references is definitely my fonder years of AOL and CompuServe. But yeah, so part of it is so we want to, obviously the board will Adam will come back on and thank everyone at the end. But we've got Ron, who's kind of come back, and Ron is literally got the points, right? It's literally feels like a pub quiz, because they actually have used Power Pivot or Power BI to actually put them all in order. And I think we announced at the start there was 160 bugs that were found. Is that correct, Adam, or did we go a little bit north of that at the end?
Yeah, that's right. Some of them were duplicates, so we had to 0 points on duplicate bugs coming from the same team, but there wasn't too many.
Wonderful. So 160 is absolutely amazing. And so what we're going to do is I know Paul wants to give away something because he's awesome. But I want Ron to do the big drum roll for the top, winner off and count down the positions. So we're going to do the top 4, which I know is a bit controversial, but the winners will obviously win the Amazon voucher, which is thanks to the app, the global app people for that. Otherwise, global app testing. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be possible, this event. And then the runner-up, which we've decided on based on some of the great defects that team actually raised, will get books as well. So everyone will get something. I'm sure that your name will match the team name, so we'll have those. Adam's taken screenshots of who was in each team, so we will contact those. But if you do win something, what I'll do is I'll paste in my email address into the channel, so you can just ping me your email, and I'll make sure you either get the book or you get the Amazon voucher. And we'll make sure everyone gets something special. So with that, I'm going to hand over to our amazing keynote of the day and inspirational kickoff. Ron, do you want to give us the big rundown on the top 4?
Okay, so it's that moment that I love. Really, this is the funnest part of most things. Now, the way that this is going to work is usually we would have a whole stage, there'd be lots of people, we'd be making loads of noise, they'll be pumping music in the background. However, the budget didn't stretch that far. So what we're gonna have to do at this point is I need everyone to take themselves off mute so that we can get some drum roll sound happening that everybody can hear. Now, this could be an absolute catastrophe. I don't know if anyone's ever sung Happy Birthday over Zoom, it's horrible, but we will see what happens. So I just need to make sure that I can hear the sounds of a drum roll. So 3, 2, 1, drum roll.
Are working?
Okay. Some people have drum roll skills, others have vocal box, beatbox, aspirations for life, and we may as well just get started. So in the 4th place of this whole thing, and if you are a winner, you may as well take yourself off mute, make a scream sound, let us know that you actually won, because dead silence is really going to kill the vibe right now. So in 4th place with 192 points, imagine that there is a drum roll happening somewhere that doesn't sound too awkward like it did beforehand. The winner for 4th place is Fantastic 5.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, thank you.
Celebrations there. Boom. Okay. So now we're going to go to that 3rd spot in this 4-spot podium, which is a brand new podium style. Number 3, can I get a drum roll of some 4 in your head? Drum roll in your mind, drum roll in your mind, drum roll in your mind. The winner for number 3 is Horizon.
Hey.
Hey, well done us.
With 307 points, which is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The second is you have to have some suspense because there's no drum roll, right? What else am I going to do here, you know? Anyway, so the second is Bugs Russ.
Whee.
Woo!
Yes, Gary.
Yeah.
You know, someone who knows how to celebrate. No, Gary. Okay, and then in the first place, who is going to be taking away all the prizes and will basically, okay, so if you win this prize, you need to make sure you let everybody in your company know tomorrow that you are the sickest, that you are the best, and that they should recognize you and maybe like make a day after you inside the company because you represented the company so well, la, la, la. Just make sure people know that you're great. Okay, so this one, I need to make sure everyone is actually going to make this team feel special. So I know that we struggle emotionally with drum rolls in this team. So what we're going to go with this time is I just need to hear what your round of applause sounds like so that people feel good when this happens. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, that is slightly better. Remember, you need to do that into the mic if anyone's going to hear it. But at least people gave it a go, people gave it a go, people gave it a go. So here we go. The winner for this Bug Bash 2021 are none other than the Detectives.
Yay! Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Congratulations,
room 6 as well to confirm.
Room 6, the Detectives.
Yes,
Well, not
we are.
detectives, just detectives. Boom.
Very good.
Thanks, Ron.
What was the points for the last two? What was the points for Bugs R Us and the Detectives? Just because, yeah.
So Detectives had 328.
Wow.
And Bugs Russ had 310. So it was really close between those two locations, like literally nothing in it. So well done to the Detectives. Now, we've obviously got Paul, the Dark Art Wizard, you know, and he's going to give out who found the most movie references, right? So, Paul, do we have another winner for that team? And who is that team with the best movie triv?
Can I get 60 seconds to double check on something? Because I think we may have a tie.
Okay, well, that's great. And we're not going to go to some kind of, you know, knockout elimination, phone your friend kind of mode, but we will make sure. And so you've got my email. It is a legitimate .fo demand. It was trying to say coronavirus can FO, but the benefit is you can email me that. Email me your email addresses if you've been mentioned before, and we'll make sure we get you something. I've also got a whole stack, not that anybody wants them, which is a whole stack of the book on accelerating software quality, which I did this year. So I'll make sure
it is pretty good,
well, which is good. So there'll be stuff for everybody, right? So you won't miss out. And you've got my email address, so just ping me. So okay, Paul, is that your 60 seconds?
Yeah, that's my 60 seconds. All right. So we have two things left. We have who had the best bug and who found the most movie references, pulling it out by one movie reference. Bugs R Us.
Yay!
7. I cannot believe you found 7 of those things. Oh my God.
That's amazing. Thank you.
All right. And then I think we have one more for the best bug. The best bug is going to go to, I got to go find this guy because it was incredible. 1 second here. So there it is. I can't miss this one. So the best bug goes to Boom Shakalaka. Because, oh my gosh, you have 14 steps in your bug description. You had 10 steps explaining what the expected results were, 10 steps on how to reproduce, and again, 10 steps on the actual result. Now, the only thing was you would have come close on the movie list, except that the movie lists on there, they gave me 10 of them, and 9 of them were Cheshire. Cheshire is actually missing out of the list in the drop-down list. It was one of the bugs. If you had found it, if you're from the UK, you would have looked at the whole list and go, wait a second, where's Cheshire? What's missing? A Cheshire cat would be missing. So Alice in Wonderland would be a thing that you only got 1 point on the movie, but it was the number one that you listed there. So get 1 point for the movie for Alice in Wonderland. I know a lot of other people got that, but boy, my gosh, that defect is massive. And that, what was it? What did you actually find? Finding the graveyard links, all the links were all up there. And yes, there was a missing link from the top, and that should have been on the bottom. Great job there. And good job nobody going over to Graveyard Links Golfing, which is not my website, and trying to find a defect over there. There really wasn't any. So boom shakalaka, congratulations on the best defect. I think you did a great job on that. I would hire you onto my team to go find some stuff on the QA team.
There you go. There's a job offer for you as well. So Adam, do you want to take us out in style and thank you?
Yeah. So thank you everyone. So thank you to all of you for participating. Thank you to Global App Testing, Ronald, Paul and Jonathan for all donating prizes, crazy websites, advice, and kind of magic hats. It's been fantastic fun. I think we'll do this again soon. Well, maybe not soon, but we'll do this again because there's so many of you here and you all seem to be enjoying it, and we've all had a great night as well. So thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic evening, and email Jonathan about your prizes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Well done.
Good night, ciao, ciao.
Oh.